3.
Settings and change it. I gotta go on my settings and change it because when I turn the mics off on here, it cuts all the audio, even from his page to streaming it on my page right now. That's something I gotta figure out. Gotta do another test for sure. Oh, where the hell my page go? Bro, what happened to my page? Fucking Twitter page is gone. What the fuck? I just linked it to the. I was trying to link it to the Periscope joint this morning. Bruh, my whole page is gone.
It's not linked to your Periscope, or what do you mean by that?
It wouldn't come up. Oh, now it's coming. That's from last week. Yeah, the show not streaming on, man.
Money.
My page not even coming up. Option.
Money. I love that money.
Okay.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. You really want to play? Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. You don't really know what you can talk about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. You don't really know what you always been talking about. Now I want me the one who always been talking about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. Money, 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 make you shut him off. Never ever talk about it if you never had the clout. You don't know what to say.
I'm throwing off like shit. They didn't somehow disconnected my page from my phone. I only have access to my Sports on the Hill podcast Twitter page, when I go to my page, I'm as a visitor. But when I try to switch accounts, it doesn't even give my account as an option anymore.
Your Facebook?
No, my Twitter. Because I just with Periscope shutting down, it's supposed to stream pictures. That's why I asked him about his Twitter feed. And for some reason, oh, okay, added just an account. I was about to say, this man, I was about to kirk the fuck out. Like all them years of motherfucking tweets and shit, y'all gonna fake my account?
Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. You don't really know what you been talking about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about.
And it's good for me.
Now I won't be the one who's really talking about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, money, money.
Got 62 views on the last show, but it's not streaming on my page now.
I'm whipping it up. Gordon Ramsay, I swear that I'm cooking these orders. You talk about me, you better just hope that you can just really afford it. I'm balling, I'm balling, I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm feeling like Robert Horry. Nigga, I'm scoring. In the morning, they talk about it, then I gotta ignore it. My bitches be foreign, so independent, my money be corporate. Hate me in the most corner of the corporate. I'm smoking that smoker. You guys go ahead and let me roar it. You gon' talk about me, I ain't closing. Don't come on, you talk about me, then I'm zoning. You know that I'm zoning. Take trips, palm play, all day, all fights, keep grease, that's like I'm on track.
Get it, I get it, I get it, I get it, man.
And you can never ever get rid of that. So what you say, and what you do. If you're playing the game, you play by the rules. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. You don't really know what you've been talking about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. You don't really know what you always been talking about. Now I won't be the one who's really talking about. You don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. Now I won't be the one who's really talking about. You don't know what to say. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking
Money, money, money is what I'm talking about. And in the CP3 case, guns, guns, guns is what he talks about.
Hey, man, it's a beautiful thing, baby.
It's what I'm talking about.
It's beautiful.
Guns are beautiful, man.
Guns are beautiful. Okay.
Some of them are.
Yeah, you take them apart, put them together. Man. Yeah.
I was just talking about like the general look.
Oh, beautiful piece of machinery.
So we are back with the, as I like to label us, the world's most dangerous podcast. Because we drink and tell the truth. Oops. And do a lot of drinking, we do a lot of truth telling. Hey, do not share or send us your songs if you're not ready for the truth. If your shit's whack, we're gonna tell you you're whack. If your shit's mediocre, we're gonna tell you it's mediocre. If it's hot, we're gonna tell you that that's it.
True that.
So
share or
if you have eggshell feelings, this may not be.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
You know.
If
So we was off last week. I was in Miami. Before you even get started on all that stuff, first we gotta talk about DMX.
So
Yeah.
Our prayers go out to this brother.
before you even get started on all that stuff,
And so,
first
when some of the reports and stuff, this is why I hate white people.
our prayers go out to this brother.
Because we already knew that, DMX, suffered from a crack problem,
When some of the
an
reports and
addiction.
stuff,
And anybody who doesn't deal with an addiction doesn't know it's a lifelong battle. And they could be like, you could be sober 1 minute, you could be clean. Like my personal truth is my grandmother was a substance abuse counselor for Second Genesis, but she was also an alcoholic. So I know alcoholism, even though we got the bar, but I know alcoholism brings in this. And it's a and it's a fight to maintain my sanity at times. So and that's not even being heavily involved. Like when I was younger, my 20s, partying, drinking, you didn't understand concepts like that. But after watching your grandmother die, because the only thing that she doesn't, because she's not eating, and the only thing that she's craving is alcohol. And then when you finally get her alcohol free, just for her to die, it takes its toll on you. So you don't understand what addiction is.
Right.
A lot of people don't. So when I see these comments and they want to talk about he was in jail for tax evasion. This is my biggest problem with white media. Like when David Bowie died, he died. No one brought up his past. When Prince died, TMZ kept searching and searching, and finally they could finally say, Prince died of an overdose. Like they just wanted, the same when Michael Jackson passed away. All the allegations just came out and all this stuff. But we don't get that with white celebrities. When black celebrities go through something, they will bring out all the negative stuff during these vulnerable moments. And this is kind of why I hate TMZ. When Marion Barry died, they brought up the whole crack thing and stuff, and TMZ didn't even exist when that happened. And then they forgot, they'll bring that up, but they won't talk about him walking through Southeast during the middle when Southeast was really Southeast.
Or the fact that he gave so many people their first job, me included.
And they don't bring up stuff like that. So, our prayers do go out for DMX. Because I know battling addiction, it's not just a 30-day thing and you're done. It's a lifelong thing. So, hopefully he can overcome this. But when we're dealing in these quarantine times, stuff like that can happen. You're at home, you're alone. Depression starts to set in. Boredom starts to set in, and these demons start to call you. So, even so more rapid now because you have nowhere to go.
Right.
There's no shows that you can, really do. There's, the world hasn't fully opened back up, so you really can't do as much as you used to. And now you're spending those movie nights at home, and stuff that in your personal being starts to eat at you. He could be thinking about his kids. He could be thinking about, damn, you know what? My ride or die was my wife, and I let her go, and I really miss her, and she don't have nothing to do with me, and I get depressed. Like it could be a number of things.
And his son too.
Yeah, he had a bad relationship with his son. So those things eat at you as a person, not as a celebrity, but as a person. So we don't know what he was going. This is just me speculating. But but these are things that can play out in his mind that can cause you to break your sobriety. So if you're going to do anything for DMX, pray for him.
These are things that can play out in his mind that can cause you to break
your thoughts right there,
your sobriety.
Yeah, so it's pretty sad. I was a big DMX fan back
then. DMX is one of those rappers who I didn't like at first.
Oh no,
but then when I listened to him
immediately.
But when I listened to him, I was hooked.
Back when he came out, it was just he was filled with so much energy.
But then when I listened,
and it's crazy, to see
I was hooked.
How his life has been over the years. I've met him a few times. The last time I saw him was probably in about 2018, and even then he was just, oh my goodness, 2018, I think he had just gotten out of jail or something, and I walked up on him. I didn't meet him like in an industry event or anything like that. He was staying at a hotel down the street from my job, and I saw him in the store, and then he came out of the store, and he was in front of the hotel, and he was going off on the hotel staff because they asked him to stop smoking weed in the room because apparently all his people. And I mean, I laughed at the situation, but at the same time, the way he was going off, it was like, wow. It was actually kind of sad and embarrassing, but that was him. He's known for that, and I don't think he was on any other, drugs or anything at that time. I don't know. But that was just him and his personality and always was, like he will go off in a second, like what you see. And every time I've seen him, what you see is literally how he is off camera. Like even the way he sounds. I know people have seen his interviews and things. Like he talks just like how he raps. And his persona is literally his persona off screen. So he's always on 100. And that's what made him a good artist. But unfortunately, his personal life, it's also part of his downfall. So I think it's sad. Prayers up to him and his family while they struggle with this because I know they're worried.
You have to be. You have to be. CP3. What's your thoughts?
Like I said, we've known about his battle with substance abuse. I've heard different stories that he's hooked on heroin, crack, coke. Um, Sad thing is when folks come up in a certain environment, are exposed to, some folks, not all, and get exposed to the fast money and the fast life. And as you mentioned, with like pandemic things slowing down, they don't know anything but to turn to, substance abuse or, to a bottle or whatever to cope because honestly, they always say the artists are the tortured souls of our generation because they have underlying issues that they don't address, but that's what comes out of their music and why people tend to attract to it because it's real, it's from the heart, it's from the soul. But by doing that, that's kind of their healing in their mind, but in reality, it's just them venting their feelings, but they haven't dealt with the stresses of what the actual problem is. And that's when it goes back to our conversation all the time about mental health and therapy and getting counseling and you know everyone can use it, even as DMX, Mike Tyson, any other black celebrities that's had some meltdowns or problems after they've made it to the top and lost it, or made it to the top and still doing good but start doing crazy stuff. It's like a whole mixed bag. It's when I heard the news, I was actually at work, caught me off guard, but like I said, we all knew he had substance abuse problems.
Right.
And first thing we heard report that he had passed away, and that he didn't pass away, and they took him off life support and he's breathing on his own. So
And
it's
then they said that isn't necessarily true either.
so I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, apparently the lawyer was misfed misinformation.
Yeah.
He is still on life support. He's in a vegetarian.
Vegetative state.
It's just sad. I was actually listening to some of his music yesterday, and I was listening to a couple of old '90s tracks that he was very influential in the hip hop era, late '90s, early 2000s. I was rocking his stuff.
Me too.
Couple of the tracks. I forgot the name of it.
Is that why Taylor's the people?
Hey man, yeah man. So yeah, DMX definitely changed and influenced the rap game, and we all, all true hip hop heads know what he did for the game. Know about his days before he made it to the big time, battle rapping. Jay-Z, they had a very very good session. I don't know if you have seen it, but I think it's on YouTube. I think I watched it a few dozen times. So I mean.
And then even recently, Versus.
That's what's so shocking that he was on it with the Verses. Or you was hoping that might be something to get him to start looking in a positive light, to see that he still had fans that one that appreciate his music.
He's been working on the album.
Oh, okay.
And he got some big people on the album.
Oh, nice.
But you also got to remember when he came out, working on the album meant what? What did they do while they was working on the album?
Get high in your trunk and work.
and work on the album. That's what they did. So,
So,
did he fall back into old
and that's the thing.
habits?
So the story, have y'all ever heard of the story how DMX got signed?
Can't say that I have.
So the story is how DMX got signed. Lyle Combs and them go to they described it as a house, but when I heard the real story of how Murder Inc. and them described it, DMX was living in the crack house.
Yep.
Lyle Combs
And
go to
everybody is rhyming. And DMX had got into like altercation, whatever, and his jaw,
DMX was living in a crack house.
his jaw is broke. But she starts rhyming,